Hey, on today's show, I'll explain how robocallers are spoofing Apple's real support number. So it shows up in your caller ID and makes it look like Apple's actually calling you, but they're not. This one's scary. It's called phone spoofing, and I've got tips to protect you from it. And later, tracking your pets with GPS. You'll hear the story about one family who used GPS tracking technology to follow their cat, who would just disappear for days at a time. And you won't believe what they learned. If you're a car lover like me, you actually love this time of year. It's when automakers roll out the latest bells and whistles for the new model year. Well, Mercedes has revealed technology that works with just a wave of your hand. All this and your calls next here on Komando. We all know by now that Amazon chief Jeff Bezos announced on Twitter that he and his wife of 25 years are getting a divorce. And rumor has it that he needed to announce it before the National Enquirer actually beat him to the punch with a bunch of incriminating pictures and copies of text messages, as they're known to do. Anyway, when the richest man in the world tweets about divorce, people tend to take notice. Jeff and Mackenzie Bezos married the same year that Jeff started some small online store selling books out of a garage in Seattle. Now, that, of course, was the mid-90s. But this is interesting. When Bezos and his wife were coming up with the name of their online store, they just registered a slew of domain names, such as awake.com, browse.com, and bookmall.com. They also registered relentless.com. And here's a little fun fact. If you type relentless.com into your browser, you're redirected to amazon.com today. Well, that tiny website they called Amazon because websites then were listed alphabetically. And it's now the most valuable U.S. company, overtaking Apple. And Bezos tops the Forbes 400 list with a net worth of about $140 billion. And of course, Jeff and Mackenzie are committed to co-parenting their Alexa because attempts to rekindle their relationship failed. But let's go back and revisit Jeff Bezos' net worth. Again, it's estimated at a staggering $140 billion, give or take. But exact numbers really don't matter all that much when you hit a certain point. Still, Business Insider did a fun, maybe a depressing calculation of his annual earnings by taking into account the difference between his Forbes 400 reported net worth of 2017 and 2018. It comes out to be about $78.5 billion in that year alone. Now, this is just an estimate, since a big part of his wealth is tied to Amazon stock, which of course can fluctuate. But then they decided to calculate how much Bezos made in smaller time frames. And this really doesn't make it any better, but here we go. For the last 12 months, Bezos raked in about $6.5 billion every single month, which comes out to be more than $1.5 billion a week. Break that down even further, and it's about $215 million a day. Per hour, well, it's sure not minimum wage. It's almost $9 million an hour. All right, keep taking the time frame down, and you get more than $149,000 a minute, and finally, nearly $2,500 every single second, or about $500,000 since we started the show. But while we're all buying everything we want and don't need on Amazon, some people are losing their life savings trying to sell things on Amazon. The Atlantic wrote about a couple who lost $40,000 trying to hit it big on Amazon Marketplace. All they had to do was pay some self-proclaimed expert $4,000 to help them find some popular random product made in China. And in this case, it was a plastic wine aerator, which they were told to buy a bunch of and then sell on Amazon. These Amazon get-rich-quick schemes are rampant. Fall for it, and you're faced with unexpected extra fees and then competition from lots of other people trying to do the exact same thing. And as it turned out, you have a lot of options to get that same cheap wine aerator from China that this couple happened to be selling. Now, there's no way to get your money back. These so-called success coaches disappear faster than any privacy you might have left on Facebook. And moving on to another big company, Netflix. Now, be honest. I think we've all given our Netflix password or another streaming service password to a friend or a family member at one time or another. And granted, it's frowned upon and generally not a good idea because of privacy concerns. But you might want to reevaluate where you stand on the issue after hearing this cautionary tale. You see, a man in the UK got a text from a number he didn't recognize asking him if he paid his Netflix bill. Okay, that's a strange question to get from someone who you don't know. So, of course, he asked who sent it. As it turns out, the person texting him was a friend of his ex-girlfriend, and again asked him to pay his Netflix bill. So even though they had broken up at least 2 years before, his password at some point during the relationship was shared with his now ex-girlfriend's random friend, who's been mooching off this guy's Netflix account ever since. So he quickly changed the password and told the person, hey, get your own account. It should have ended there, but having free Netflix taken away made the moocher really upset. He called him cheap, along with a lot of other choice names I can't say here. So the moral of the story, change your Netflix password from time to time, especially right after a breakup. You can see more of the bizarre text conversation along with tips on managing your Netflix account security over at Komando.com. But give it some time, and the choice to share your Netflix or Hulu password probably won't even be up to you. You see, there's this video software provider by the name of Cinemedia. They just unveiled an AI-powered system that tracks account sharing. You see, it watches for anything it determines that might be fraudulent activity very, very closely. So let's say Netflix buys access to this platform. They can set the system parameters to scan their database for variables like how many users should be on the account, single versus family type subscriptions. Then it can determine exactly where the account's being used, what you're watching, and what device you're watching it on. Yeah, it'll know if you're watching at home or on vacation, even if it's being used simultaneously, say in different locations. It'll then provide this probability score, or guess, to the streaming service if it thinks that you are sharing your credentials when you shouldn't be. And that's when the service provider can decide if it's warranted to shut down your account, or at the very least say, hey, we know you're sharing your password, so let's upgrade you to a premium plan. Now, I'm all for people paying their own bills, but AI that's designed to track you down sounds pretty creepy. Netflix, for one, already knows your viewing habits and a ton of other details, and some companies are already trying the AI system out. We just don't know which ones. That is, until they start asking us for more money. And finally, even with the advancement of the folding phone, I doubt it's going to put a dent in the number of accidental calls 911 dispatchers get every year. But as far as those oops calls go, they really don't get more epic than this one. But it wasn't too funny at first, even though it was an honest mistake. You apparently still have to dial 9 to get an outside line when you're living on the International Space Station. Yes, I said the ISS. Just like an office phone, who knew? So when a Dutch astronaut tried to make an international call using 011, well, he accidentally missed the 0, so it caused a bit of chaos back on Earth. A security team was even scrambled at the Johnson Space Center in Houston to figure out if something was actually wrong. The 60-year-old astronaut didn't even realize what he'd done until the next day when he got an email asking if he actually called 911. But if that's how easy it is to call 911 in space, can you imagine what the butt dials must be like up there? The roaming charges must be out of this world. The Kim Komando Show is actually a national radio show on over 400 top stations from coast to coast. And as a national talk show, a big part of the show are, of course, all of your phone calls. And in our Kim Komando Show man cave is our amazing, our talented, yes, our great call screener, a nice Irishman, as I like to say, Andrew Babinski.
Hello, Kim.
Hey there, Andrew. What's going on with our phone calls?
I've decided that I'm going to challenge myself this week.
You're going to do a great job.
No.
Why would you do
on
that?
the hit Netflix movie, The Bird Box.
Yes.
And the internet craze of the Bird Box Challenge.
My gosh.
I'm going to do the entire show blindfolded.
You know, people are getting
Where are you?
hurt. Over here.
Okay.
Follow the voice. Follow the voice.
I gotcha.
You know, people are getting hurt doing this challenge.
They're not as good as I am. I know what where's the phone? I can figure this out. This is a keyboard. Don't ask me where I got the blindfold. My kids are watching.
Oh, man. This ought to be interesting. All right, next, I'll take your calls and I'll tell you how to get gadgets for free here on Komando.
Be a caller on the Kim Komando Show. Call 1-888-825-5254. Live Fridays, 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Or send your questions and comments to askkim@komando.com.
Did you know that every time you use the internet, you put yourself at risk? Not only can your internet service provider see every website you visit, strangers can monitor your online activity, hackers could see your transaction details, and your information could be exploited without your knowledge. That's why you need NordVPN. NordVPN uses military-grade encryption protocols that protect your information, so snoopers can't see what you do online. In just a few clicks, protect up to 6 devices for the limited time offer of just $2.99 per month. Don't risk being hacked. Install NordVPN and protect yourself from annoying ads, cybercriminals, and strangers, all while you enjoy secure streaming, ad blocking, and malware blocking benefits. For ultimate online privacy, there's only one solution: NordVPN. Get military-grade encryption on up to 6 devices from just $2.99 per month at nordvpn.com/TV today.
And the phone lines are open, 1-888-825-5254. Once again, is the way to join us. So when you're calling in, you're first greeted by Andrew Babinski in the Kim Komando Show Man Cave.
Hello, Kim.
Hey, Andrew, what's going on?
Maryland and Huntsville, Alabama. Now, sometimes I use our callers before they get on the air with you to my own advantage. She is an artist, and she is looking to sell her paintings online. My wife and I are looking to buy a huge piece of art. And so I asked her what it could or should cost. And then she gave me her price, so we will not be using her.
Well, you have to tell us what it was.
$10,000.
For what size?
Huge, like 72 inches by 48 inches.
That's a big piece of art.
It is. I'm looking for someone who's willing to do it for 50 bucks.
Okay.
But I'll just go on Craigslist.
Now, I think Marilyn sent me an email.
Oh, did she?
Yes. Because this is starting to sound very, very familiar with me. Marilyn, I looked at your website. You are very talented. How long have you been painting?
Well, I've been painting my whole life since I was 6, and it was my major in college, and I've made a living at it my whole life. So this is why my prices are the way they are, because I've gotten good. When you start when you're 6, you tend to get good at something. So, and it's very rare, but the reason my prices are high is that they sell at that price.
Awesome.
So,
where is your art hanging? I mean, various galleries?
And I've had a lot of prints for sale over the last 30, 40 years, and they're all over the world. But my main galleries now are in California and Massachusetts.
Very nice. I
am transitioning from sales in galleries and teaching to sales online, and I'm on a learning curve on using. I've used Facebook now for about 5 years. I've kind of got that down, but I'm learning Instagram. So and my favorite way of learning is to actually hire someone to come sit down with me and just show me how to do my business and sale on Instagram and direct them to my webpage.
Sounds all great and it sounds all easy, but it's not, right? And I do agree with you with hiring somebody who actually knows how to do this and to sit down right next to you, because there is an art to social media. There's an art to, no pun intended, I mean, to getting the message out there, using the right hashtags, getting the right people to follow you, you follow the right people, so that it becomes a bit of synergy.
Yes.
But I would not want you to solely depend upon Instagram, because I don't know if you're familiar with what's happening on Facebook, but if you have a business on Facebook, is that generally, we've experienced it, I've heard from many listeners and viewers of the TV show and readers of my columns and things like that, that if you have a business on Facebook, is that your messages may not necessarily go out to your audience unless you pay to boost the post, right?
Yes, that's right.
And so my concern is for anybody who's starting out is that guess who owns Instagram? Facebook.
Yeah, that's right.
So are we going to be faced with the same dilemma as entrepreneurs and small businesses once somebody says, hey, you know, why are we giving this away when we could be charging for it? And so just like a wheel, is that I want you to start thinking of all the different ways that you can sell online. And as far as Instagram goes, I would reach out to a local college, a communications professor, and ask them if they have anybody that they could recommend, who you could hire and have them come over and be your social media expert. Because it's not just Instagram. You should also be on Pinterest and Facebook, a YouTube channel, So it all comes together. The other thing I want you to look at is to start selling print on demand. In looking at your website, I looked at your store. There are other things that you could be doing, Marilyn, that involve, say, websites like Redbubble and Cafe Press and Zazzle. And so what you are doing at that point is you're putting up your works. You don't even have to carry any inventory. Now, over on Amazon.com, the place that we all love, at Amazon.com, they also have the art marketplace, the fine art. You could be selling your fine art on Amazon.com as well. I'm going to put a list of all these sites for you, Marilyn, and I'll post them over on my website at komando.com. Thanks for your call. You're one talented lady. There's going to be over 163 zettabytes of data by 2025. You see, companies are amassing more and more data, and they have no choice but to think about cloud storage. And if your company is, you have to consider Wasabi. Not your average startup. It was actually started by David Friend and Jeff Flowers, the founders of Carbonite and pioneers in cloud storage. Wasabi's ushering in the next generation of cloud storage with a revolutionary technology that changes what's possible. Wasabi is looking to make cloud storage a commodity, like electricity, affordable and always there when you need it. It's 80% cheaper than Amazon S3 with unlimited free egress. It's as fast as cloud storage gets, 6 times faster than Amazon S3. And it's secure as you can get with immutable storage and 11x9s of object durability. That means if you gave them 1 million files to store, they might lose one every 659,000 years. For most of us, cloud storage is inevitable. And if you ask me, so is Wasabi. You can learn more and even try it for free at wasabi.com. Robert in Las Vegas, Nevada. Hi there, Robert. What's going on?
I've got a daughter that's being cyber-terrorized by a former spouse.
Oh.
He's manipulating the lights, radios, TVs, and turning off alarm clocks remotely, harassing emails and texts. Not only to my daughter, but to her employers, her friends' employers, her friends' landlords. We believe that there may be audio and perhaps even video bugs in the house, possibly even her car. And there's been threats of posting intimate photos and videos online.
Oh, my gosh, your poor family. Jeez.
We're looking for help. You know, who do we report it to? How do we get this stuff off of her computers, her emails, her phones has been hacked? We don't know where to go to get this fixed.
How long has it been going on?
3 or 4 weeks now.
And was there a divorce?
Yes.
Okay. And did he just happen to move out? Did he just move out?
Recently, yes.
Okay. Well, first thing is, I would get rid of the router that's in the house because he may have remote access through the router.
Okay.
And because, you know, the router has settings that allow you to have access to it. And then once you have access to the router and the network, you have access to anything. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
And so whenever there's a divorce, the first thing that you want to do, I mean, some people say, well, you know, I can change the password on the router. So I can't. So so this way he can't get in. Was he pretty tech savvy?
Yes.
Okay.
And has some very skilled help in that area also.
Okay. In that case, by no means just don't only change the password. You need to replace the router totally. Just go buy a new router. Okay.
Okay.
Because everything in that house that connects up to the internet will go through that router. And in addition to that, she needs to change her password on everything. I mean, I'm talking about everything. She may even want to change her phone number. You know, maybe he still has access to her accounts online. Because if you think about it, as an ex-husband, he probably knows all the answers to every security question there is, right? What's your middle name? Where did you go to school? What was the name of your first dog, right?
Exactly.
Okay. And if he is tech savvy, he probably knows that how to spoof a phone number. He knows how to hack into a Gmail account.
Right.
So now it gets pretty frightening if you start thinking of all the tentacles that might be out there. Now, if there is a wireless camera in the house, some of them run on cellular. And so if it's running on cellular, it's not going through that router. It's not going through the wireless network.
Gotcha.
So at that point, what you're looking for are like lights, things that, you know, in fans or in vents. I mean, but there's some of these cameras are so stealth right now that it looks like an iPhone charger and it's a camera.
Well, and we've also found out that there's some of them that when you go searching for them with a device, they turn themselves off.
Correct. You can even do that with a regular Nest cam. You could turn off the green light, and it looks like the camera's dead, but it's recording all the audio and all the video. There's a company online called Brickhouse Security, and they sell these RF detectors, and that's what you're going to look at. But you have to totally sweep that house top to bottom, everywhere. I mean, open up the vents. I know it sounds crazy. Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not watching you, right? But this is your daughter's safety that you're talking about right here. And,
exactly.
And the guy's a loose cannon.
Right.
Are there kids in the house?
No, fortunately.
Okay. Now, I would also go to the Las Vegas Police Department and ask to speak to whoever's in charge of the Cyber Crimes Division. You can call them, call 911, say it's a non-emergency, or you can call the non-emergency phone number. But every police department has a Cyber Crimes Division right now. And this is what we're talking about, a cyber crime. Before you remove that router totally, what I would do is I would start snooping around a little bit, meaning that I'd get into the router's logs itself and start looking at things like MAC addresses, look at the traffic going in and out of the router, and save those logs just in case you need them.
Gotcha.
And do you know how to do that? You go into the router's administration page.
Okay.
And then,
I don't know how to do that, but we'll figure it out.
Well, you know what? Just Google search router, do the router make and model, and then just do the word logs, L-O-G-S.
Okay.
And then any traffic that's going through that router will be in that log. And so what I want you to do is just to have proof later on, just in case you need it.
Gotcha.
But, you know, it's a dangerous situation. I'm glad you called, because I don't want anything to happen to you or your family. You know, if at any point you have any other question, just reach out to me. Just, you know, I'm here for you. I'm a resource for you. Okay. And I definitely want to help you. Now, have you ever wondered where your pet goes when it goes outside? Well, one of our viewers decided to track her cat's daily travels. I'll tell you how next. You're on Komando.
Attention oxygen therapy users. If you've been chained to an oxygen tank, then you know they're a burden. Tanks keep you from living the life you love.
I was on oxygen tanks, and I couldn't go anywhere, do much of anything. I didn't dare go far.
It's time to reclaim your independence with an Inogen One oxygen concentrator. Inogen makes its own oxygen from the air around you, so you'll never worry about running out of oxygen again.
I wasn't going to run out of oxygen ever, and it was like freedom. I got my life back. I really love my Inogen.
The Inogen One G4 is lightweight and compact. Plus, it's battery operated, so you can have oxygen anytime, anywhere.
Oh, do I think Inogen is worth the money? You better believe it's worth every single penny of it.
Call now for your free information kit. There's no obligation. Inogen. Oxygen anytime, anywhere.
Call 1-800-442-0748. That's 1-800-442-0748. Call now for your free information kit.
Pests and rodents want to make your home their home. With Plug-in Pest Free, you keep them out with small, completely safe pulses of electromagnetic force that repel pests and rodents without chemicals, fumes, or toxic materials. No fumes, no smell, no mess, and safe for everyone. Don't spray and regret. Plug in and forget. Plug-in Pest Free. Call or click today.
The whole brigade around him. He gets around, cuts to the center. No one's gonna get him. Impossible. Touchdown. How did they do that? Oh my gosh, I've never seen that in my entire
The reason why I have great hair is because of this lovely woman here. So Nicole comes over to do my hair.
Okay.
And she says to me, you know, I got to tell you the story about my cat.
Great.
You don't seem excited by that.
No, go ahead. Cat stories, great.
Okay. And so she starts telling me the whole story. And I said, you know what, Nicole, stop. You got to tell everybody about Calvin the cat, because we have a lot of people. Okay, you're a dog person.
Yes.
Okay.
I like pets, so I like dogs.
Okay, why don't you like cats?
Because they're not pets. I hate doing this because anytime I do criticize cats, cat lovers are pretty insane about their love for cats, but cats are useless. They just sit there and hate you.
Cats are great.
Well,
Okay,
you got a new pet, Kim. What's the name of your cat?
I have a golden retriever.
Oh, interesting. You got a dog.
Abby the golden goddess. So, Nicole, tell us your story about Calvin the cat.
Okay, so I've got Calvin about 12 years ago. Best $20 I ever spent on Craigslist, no matter what Andrew says. And he keeps taking off for 5 to 6 days at a time. I put a note on his collar, and it says second home, because I thought he adopted somebody. And inside, you open it up, and it says, hi, my name is Calvin. My family thinks I've adopted another home. Text my mom with my phone number. Nobody answers. So I'm like, all right, well, he doesn't want to stay in the house, and my husband don't want to let him outside. So my husband sends me this link, and it's to a GPS tracker. So we put it on him, and now we know everywhere that he's going.
There we see Calvin's travels.
Oh.
And that's how long of a period?
That's 1 day.
That's insane.
1 day. It's crazy how far he goes.
Another reason to not enjoy cats.
No, this is meant for dogs. It's meant for dogs.
But a dog.
The tracker is.
It's a paw tracker.
It's a paw tracker.
It's like $100 and $10 a month.
My dog's tracker would be outside, inside, upstairs, downstairs, outside, inside, upstairs, downstairs, because my dog stays at home.
My dogs stay at home. But
yes, of
don't
course
you
your
want to know where
dogs
they
do.
go if they were to get out?
But see, but now she knows where Calvin's going. Now you were telling me that your mother called because she wanted to know where Calvin was.
Yes, so now my parents call and they're asked where the cat is. My husband had to log into the GPS so he can watch him in real time.
Nicole, you used to cry when you couldn't find Calvin.
Yes.
Now, because of technology, she's not crying
I just pick him up.
She just goes and gets him.
Just get a dog and you will never have to worry about
dog,
this.
but nothing will replace Calvin.
See, I was thinking, and I already registered it, so you'll have to pay me, Nicole, like, you know, calvinthecat.com.
You've already registered the domain name?
I was like, that's kind of cruel and unusual punishment.
Think about this. You could have a whole line. You could have digital books. You could have, like...
I've had people say I should do children's books about it.
Yes.
My clients think that it's so funny.
So many of those people who have those Instagram pets make millions off of them.
Are you going to be my manager?
Absolutely, 10%. You know what? 8%. We're done. I love cats for 8%.
I was just going to say, all of a sudden you throw money in, and the guy's a cat lover.
I always love cats, Kim.
You never liked
Always.
cats. Well, thanks, Nicole, for coming on and talking to us about Calvin the cat and technology. And in case you're looking for a tracker for your little cat or dog, we're going to have a whole article posted about these trackers over at komando.com. That's komando.com. Hit that Show Pigs button right on the homepage. All right, if you're a car lover like me, well, I'll tell you, this is a magical time of year when automakers roll out the latest bells and whistles for the new model year. Mercedes-Benz has revealed technology that works with the wave of a hand. Their latest CLA Coupe. It's got the infotainment system that Mercedes baked in last year, but with an upgrade. It also uses augmented video navigation, which has been available in some of the company's more expensive cars and SUVs. But what's all new, something that Mercedes calls interior assistant. It responds to your gestures. So like, for example, get this, you can turn on the dome light just by waving your hand. And the Mercedes system will know if it came from the driver or the passenger. It also works with Garmin's Vivo Active 3 smartwatch and other compatible smartwatches. Why? Well, the Mercedes is going to use heart rate data from your watch to modify the music, the air conditioning, the seat positioning, the lighting, to all reduce your stress levels. And hopefully it's not going to put you to sleep. But what's really interesting about this is how Mercedes described their new features. A spokesperson says, listen to this, quote, our vehicles are now platforms of digital progress, and we operate them as a software company, end quote. That's it. Mercedes-Benz is calling themselves a software company. I'll let that sink in for just a moment. Google has 85,000 employees. How many of those employees have ever succumbed to a phishing scam? Anybody? Anybody? That's right. The answer is actually 0. Let me tell you the reason why. None of Google's 85,000 employees have had their work accounts taken over because they're using a little security device that costs $30 or less. And when you log into a configured account with a security key, you have to plug in the key or pair it to access your data. That way, no one can trick you into giving up your login credentials. But they've typically only been compatible using the USB ports, so it's kind of impossible if you want to use it on a phone. especially an iPhone because, well, there's the lightning port issue. But not anymore. Yubico is the name of a company that makes Google's keys, and now they're coming out with one made for iPhones and devices that have the USB-C port. They haven't said when it's going to officially be released, but they are working on it. But it's going to be helpful since phishing scams aren't going away anytime soon. But speaking of phishing scams, most of us don't have security keys. And when we log into our email account, you probably see your fair share of phishing emails just waiting to slip you up. They've been around for years. A recent example is now coming to your phone. It looks like you're getting a call directly from Apple's helpline. You're probably about to be scammed. Scam looks real. Phone numbers can be faked. Telemarketers and scammers, they use things called caller ID spoofing. But iPhones already come with Apple's helpline pre-programmed into your contact list, and scammers know this. So they're going to fake a call using that number. And since it's a number already in your contacts, it will not only show Apple's number, but also use Apple's name and the logo. It looks official, just as if they're actually calling you. And that's what makes it seem so real. But Apple says their support department doesn't call people out of the blue, so there's your big red flag. If you ever want to double check, just give Apple a call directly. You can even report attempted scams like this right through the Apple website. And if you think that Alexa was in your house enough, well, now they're coming to your garage. I mean, last year, Amazon announced the whole Key program. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but the whole idea behind it was that Amazon would be able to put your packages inside your house so that this way we don't have to worry about porch pirates. Well, recently they announced something that would be the key for the garage. That's right. It still requires some additional hardware. You have to have the Chamberlain MyQ Garage Hub. But the whole idea, again, is that Amazon's delivery person opens the garage door while you're away, whereas the key for home requires a camera so you can rest assured the delivery person doesn't take a tour of the house. It's not required key for the garage. You have to be a Prime member to sign up. And is this invasive or this is a convenience? That's totally up for you to decide. And coming up, we'll go back to the phone lines, and I'll have your money tip, and I'll tell you how to get smart gadgets for free. Next, here on Komando.
In the connected world we live in, our personal information is everywhere. What happens if that information gets in the hands of criminals?
Someone benefited from this. We were the ones on the hook for it. We can't pay a $50,000 bill.
Cyber criminals around the world keep finding new ways to steal your personal information, and it could be right from your personal computer or smartphone. That's why LifeLock includes the power of Norton for even more protection for your identity and your devices, where so much of your personal information lives.
Knowing that Norton and LifeLock are on my side makes me feel even more confident about the protection that I have for my identity.
Monitoring your credit isn't enough to see if your identity is being used by thieves. LifeLock helps you see more threats like your information on the dark web. And now, with the power of Norton, we help defend your personal information on your devices from ransomware, spyware, and more. And if you have an identity theft problem, a US-based restoration agent will work to fix it.
There's a whole team of people that are working on my behalf.
Only LifeLock members are covered by LifeLock's powerful $1 million protection package, including reimbursement of stolen funds and personal expenses up to the limits of your plan, and lawyers and experts if that's what it takes.
I was covered through my membership, and I received a check for approximately $1,200.
Join for as low as $9.99 a month and get a free shredder with promo code TVOFFER. All memberships include identity threat detection and alerts, with agents working to fix issues, LifeLock's $1 million protection package, and award-winning Norton security protection for up to 5 devices.
I've got 2 industry leaders to help protect my identity and my devices.
LifeLock with Norton. Call 1-800-456-1530 or visit LifeLockTVOffer.com. Use promo code TVOFFER to get a free shredder with annual membership. Call now.
We have Sue in Quincy, Illinois. Now, Sue has a 2,000 square foot house.
Okay.
And her router is all the way on one side of the house.
Which means all the way on the other side of the house, she's got no connection.
Exactly. She's got only one bar. So she's like, well, I know how to solve this. I'll just get another router.
Okay.
Yeah. But then she heard of something called a mesh network.
And then she was like, whoa.
I got to call Kim.
I need a mesh network because I want to be the cool kid on the block and make sure that I am the one that has the mesh network. Right, Sue?
That is so correct.
I'm going to be setting everybody up. I'm going to say, so do you know what a mesh network is? You know how it works?
Have no idea. That's why I'm calling you.
Okay. This is actually really cool stuff, and you have to visualize it with me, okay? So your router's coming in where? In the garage?
Actually, in one of the bedrooms that's an office.
Okay, so the router's in the office, and the furthest from you is what? A bedroom, say?
Yes, like there's bedroom, living room, kitchen, bedroom on the other side.
Okay, all right. So traditionally what we'd have to do is we'd have to put the router in the office and then figure out through a heat map someplace where we would need to put in a repeater, right? And maybe change the antenna on the router itself so that it doesn't put the signal out in a circle, that it's going to go just one direction. Okay, we're going to just change that antenna so it goes straight across the house. Well, that's the old way of doing things. So now we have something called a mesh network. And so the router comes in to the office, right, Sue?
Uh-huh.
Then you can buy a repeater. You can put the repeater in the kitchen. Okay. And depending upon the size of the house, that may be all that you need. If the house is over 2,500 square feet, you might need another repeater. And they're normally sold as a package with the router and the 2 repeaters. But here's where the difference really is. So when the signal comes into the router on the mesh network, it's going to hit the router, it's going to hit the repeater. But the big difference is now anything that's connected to the internet is also a repeater. So if you're standing there and you have your phone is repeating that signal. Your smart thermostat is repeating that signal. Your smart speaker, whatever it is repeating the signal. So that's where the idea of the mesh comes in, like a mesh net, because everything is now going to be interconnected. And that signal is gonna be in more places. And it works. It does work. I have it in my house, and I specifically wanted to get, because here in Phoenix, Arizona, 9 months of the year you can go sit on the patio, right?
How nice.
I mean, but 3 months of the year you can't because it's 180 degrees. Well,
versus 8 inches of snow we're going to get here in the next 24 hours.
This is why all you people move to Arizona. I don't know if you...
I am thinking that.
Okay, this is what happens. There are more people from Chicago and Quincy and Indianapolis and Phoenix than I think, and Minnesota, by the way. And you guys all move here for the winter, okay? And then you all move back. Because then the rest of us were like, oh, gosh, it's so nice in the summer. Nobody's here. Anyway, so because we don't get snow, we do get snow up in the mountains. A lot of people don't realize that. They think that Phoenix is just one big desert. It's about 70 degrees today. I had to wear a light jacket.
Oh, what a shame.
It was really awful. It was really awful. Okay, but back to your mesh network. So you've got a couple of options when you want to go buy one. Google Wi-Fi is a mesh network. You can buy it over their shop. A lot of people don't like it because, as you know, Google tracks everything. And of course, if you have their router, they're tracking more than anything. Eero is a company, EERO, is also another maker. Eero is the product that I put in my house. It doesn't have certain things that if you would want it, like an Ethernet port for a TV. Orbi is yet another flavor of this. A lot of people don't like Orbi because they think it's too big. But you put Orbi in your house. Do you feel it's big and intrusive?
No, not at all. We also have a 10,000 square foot lot, and we wanted to make sure that we had Wi-Fi all the way to the back of the wall, and it worked perfectly. I just installed it yesterday, actually.
And
it took like 5 minutes.
How much was it?
It covers 7,500 square feet, and it was $400.
Yeah, so you're going to spend money for a mesh network. You are going to do that. I mean, so it's going to be a lot more expensive than anything that, comparable if you're just going to put in just a regular router. But if you are trying to make sure that you do have all those bars and all those places, it's really hard to beat. You can learn more about mesh networking over at komando.com, of course. All right, here's a blast from the past. It's been a long time since supersonic passenger airlines were in the skies, 16 years now, but that's about to change. The Concorde was in service from 1976 to 2003, was retired for a lot of reasons. They had that 2000 crash in France during takeoff that killed everyone on board. But even though the crash was caused by a piece of debris on the runway, people were still afraid to book flights on the Concorde afterwards. Then the trend continued after 9/11, along with rising maintenance and fuel costs. But now Boom Technology has raised over $100 million to produce a successor to the Concorde called the Overture. It's even faster. They want to launch the plane in 2023, 20 years after the Concorde's retirement. Now, even if that happens, they still have the sonic boom problem. And this is probably going to be just for the wealthy travelers. A ticket is going to cost, bottom line, more than $5,000. And even though this one's faster with a speed estimate about 1,700 miles per hour, it's also smaller. It's only going to carry half the passengers of the predecessor. Concorde carried 100 folks. The Overture is going to hold 55. There are backers. Sir Richard Branson, he's optioned 10 planes for service. Another investor is Lauren Powell Jobs, widow of Apple founder Steve Jobs. There are challenges ahead, no doubt, but it's possible this Concorde successor is definitely going to get off the ground. All right, and this next item is something from the future. Imagine if I could just speak English and then you would speak German back to me, or Mandarin, or whatever it may be. Similar to the universal translator on Star Trek, Google Assistant will now act as a real-life, real-time translator for more than 25 languages. The voice assistant is getting a new interpreter mode so you can actively converse with people who speak a different language. All right, not quite perfect. You have to activate the feature by saying things like, "Hey Google, help me speak German." And when you speak, Google Assistant will show text across a smart display that translates the words. Then it's the other person's turn. So it can take a while to get through conversations. And this is not Google's first crack at it. The last update hit August. But before that, Google put these translation capabilities back in 2017 in their Pixel Buds. The latest version is going to show up on the Google Home Hub. It's going to roll out over the next few months to a whole slew of other devices. And again, that's called Google Assistant Google Translate. If you have an iPhone, a new feature rolled out on iOS 12 meant to help the hearing impaired. But if you have AirPods, you definitely need to listen up. The Live Listen feature allows people with hearing problems to listen what's coming into their iPhone's microphone through the AirPods. Okay, the sensitivity is adjusted through the phone, even can be turned way up. Here's where the security comes in. AirPods can work up to 50 feet away. They can work through walls. So if someone enables Live Listen on their iPhone, they could sneakily leave the phone in another room, use their AirPods to eavesdrop on whatever private conversations might be happening from pretty far away. The feature can also be controlled by the Apple Watch. So even though iOS 12 was released about, 4 months ago, chatter about this feature's spying potential only started making waves. So if you see a carefully placed iPhone hiding in plain sight, someone might be listening. Coming up, our digital life hacks tip you don't want to miss. Like many other companies, we create a lot of data, and all that data needs to be stored somewhere safe. It was starting to get pretty expensive, and then we discovered Wasabi Hot Cloud Storage. It's so affordable, it blows away all other forms of cloud storage. Less than just the annual maintenance cost of on-site storage. Wasabi is at least 80% less expensive than Amazon S3, with no charges for API requests. Wasabi's lightning fast. On average, it's 6 times faster than Amazon S3. When we need to retrieve a show from storage, it's almost instant. Unlike other companies, they don't charge me to get my own data. We don't have to guess what we'll be spending on storage each year. Because it's so fast and cheap, they have just one tier of service. Compare that to Amazon's S3, which you need a PhD in cloud storage to figure out what tiers to use and when. Wasabi's been a game changer for us. You can learn more and even try it for free at wasabi.com.
Look, it's me. Giving out my credit card details. Sharing my passwords with strangers. Being hackers' best friend. Your sensitive online data is just as open to snoopers on public Wi-Fi. Connect to NordVPN. Help protect your privacy and enjoy advanced internet security. Download NordVPN now. 30-day money-back guarantee.
Keeping your kids healthy is the first step to protecting their dreams. When you keep them safe, there's no limit to how far they can go. Nothing is out of reach. No mission? Impossible. Give your son or daughter a better chance to see their dreams come true. Give them the HPV vaccine at age 11 or 12 to prevent HPV cancers later in life.
This week's digital life hack tip, I decided to take a look at something other than Google to expose you to some search sites that I use, because Google gets about 3.5 billion searches every single day. And because of that, so many of us just say, well, I'll Google it. I'll do that. So let's talk about specific search sites. Like number one, Just Watch. Oh, love this site. If you're into any type of streaming media, you're looking for a movie to watch, a TV show, and you're wondering, where is it streaming? Just go to justwatch.com. It only focuses on streaming sites. You can get real specific, or you can let it tell you what's new to stream on the available services. Plus, before you buy a movie, it's going to tell you where you can watch it for free. Nice. Now, if you're looking to keep it kid-friendly, check out yippee.com. That's number 2 in our list. Because, at some point, a child on a computer is going to bring up awkward search results. That's right. This one blocks all adult content, whether it's porn or gambling. And it protects your privacy, too. The next one is called Kiddle.co, not .com, .co. This is Google's version of Yippee, and it promises a safe search environment for the kids. Kiddle says it doesn't collect any personally identifying information either, but just remember, it is Google. And sometimes you just really need to find a good GIF that sums up your thoughts. And the best place, the best search site to go for that is over at jiffy.com. That's GIPHY.com, by the way. You can look for something specific or just enter a topic. It's going to find something that should work. And there's even an app for that on iOS and Android. All right, what about space? That's next on our list. NASA's got their own image search that contains photos from across 60 collections. They're even free to download. You don't have to worry about licensing either. And next one is for our coders and developers who are watching and listening, libraries.io. You're going to use this specific search site to find thousands of pieces of open source software and packages and tools that you can use for your projects. And finally, don't laugh. Number 7 on our list is Bing, right, from Microsoft. And it doesn't have the same pull as Google, so they're going to bribe you to use them. Okay, not bribe. Bing is going to pay you and reward you with Microsoft rewards just for using them instead of Google. You have to search a lot, but you can earn things like Amazon and Starbucks gift cards. This might sound strange, but hanging upside down is a great way to decompress your back and get rid of back pain. It's called inversion therapy, which uses gravity and your own body weight to decompress your spine and release tension in your shoulders, neck, and joints. If you have back pain, or if you've been lucky enough to avoid injury, you need a teeter to invert every day and keep your back and joints feeling great. Decompressing on a teeter inversion table for just a few minutes a day is all you need. For a limited time, and only for my audience, you can get the brand new 2019 Teeter Fit Spine Inversion Table with bonus accessories plus a free vibration cushion for $150 off when you go to teeter.com/Kim. You'll also get free shipping, free returns, and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Remember, you can only get the new 2019 Teeter Fit Spine Inversion Table plus a free vibration cushion by going to teeter.com/Kim. Let's go ahead and do our money tip, and every week we put one of these together for you to save you money or help you make money. This week, it's all about saving money. Smart gadgets are all the rage, and you love your smart thermostats. And your smart garage door openers, and anything else smart to make that home smart. I don't know if you know this, but if you have a smart home, it's actually easier to sell, even if you just by installing a smart thermostat. But what if you don't want to pay for all that smart gear? Well, you have come to the right place, because there are ways that you can get some of your smart gear absolutely free or at a discount. Like, for example, many of the large utility companies in the U.S. now offer consumer discounts on smart light bulbs and smart thermostats. If you're already in the market for a smart thermostat, you could potentially find a savings of about $50 or more just by calling your local power company. You could also join a program and get free smart gadgets. Some energy companies are now offering bill credits or annual rebates for consumers who sign up for programs and allow the company permission to adjust their thermostat in times of high demand, like peak hours. Now, you won't lose complete control. You can still manually adjust it back, but it's going to affect your discount. Now, with programs like these, you might be required to choose a new thermostat from a handful of models that the company has selected. Insurance companies also offer discounts in devices because they recognize the cost-benefit of a safe and secure home. So they're offering discounts to consumers who choose to add security cameras, smoke detectors, video doorbells. The discount may apply to your homeowner's insurance policy, maybe your renter's insurance, or even the device itself. For example, through an Amazon partnership, Travelers Insurance is supplying some of its customers with a free Echo Dot. The program requires the purchase of a smart home device kit, ranging anywhere from $135 to $320. The kits can include anything from cameras to link sensors, but they all integrate with the free Echo Dot that comes along with it. Now, what's the risk? Now, before you make your next smart home device purchase, you might be thinking, what's the harm in giving your energy or your insurance company a call just to find out if you're eligible? All it will cost you is just a moment of your time. You're going to get some savings. And if the company has a really good website, you may be able to sign up there. We've got links and more information, of course, for you over at the official homepage of the Kim Komando Show. That's Komando.com, of course. And once you're there, hit that Show Picks button right on the homepage. Next, Apple took an advertisement out, a big one, at the Consumer Electronics Show recently in Las Vegas. I'm going to tell you why you cannot believe that ad here on Komando.
In the connected world we live in, our personal information is everywhere. What happens if that information gets in the hands of criminals?
Someone benefited from this. We were the ones on the hook for it. We can't pay a $50,000 bill.
Cyber criminals around the world keep finding new ways to steal your personal information, and it could be right from your personal computer or smartphone. That's why LifeLock includes the power of Norton for even more protection for your identity and your devices, where so much of your personal information lives.
Knowing that Norton and LifeLock are on my side makes me feel even more confident about the protection that I have for my identity.
Monitoring your credit isn't enough to see if your identity is being used by thieves. LifeLock helps you see more threats like your information on the dark web. And now, with the power of Norton, we help defend your personal information on your devices from ransomware, spyware, and more. And if you have an identity theft problem, a US-based restoration agent will work to fix it.
There's a whole team of people that are working on my behalf.
Only LifeLock members are covered by LifeLock's powerful $1 Million protection package, including reimbursement of stolen funds and personal expenses up to the limits of your plan, and lawyers and experts if that's what it takes.
I was covered through my membership, and I received a check for approximately $1,200.
Join for as low as $9.99 a month and get a free shredder with promo code TV offer. All memberships include identity threat detection and alerts, with agents working to fix issues, LifeLock's $1 Million protection package, and award-winning Norton security protection for up to 5 devices.
I've got 2 industry leaders to help protect my identity and my devices.
LifeLock with Norton. Call 1-800-456-1530 or visit lifelocktvoffer.com. Use promo code TVOffer to get a free shredder with annual membership. Call now.
Look, it's me. Giving out my credit card details. Sharing my passwords with strangers. Being hackers' best friend. Your sensitive online data is just as open to snoopers on public Wi-Fi. Connect to NordVPN. Help protect your privacy and enjoy advanced internet security. Download NordVPN now. 30-day money-back guarantee.
The annual Consumer Electronics Show recently took place in Las Vegas. 4,500 exhibits, 180,000 people. This thing's huge. Apple doesn't attend CES, though. Apple does its own thing with announcements and their worldwide developer conference every June. But Apple did have a presence at CES. You see, Apple took out a massive ad on an entire building that read, "What happens on your iPhone stays on your iPhone." Okay, first of all, your phone uses carriers and sites, and your data gets transferred all over the place. Then all those apps have access to all kinds of things on your phone. And go ahead, ask actress Jennifer Lawrence about those naked pics on her iPhone that got hacked off her iCloud account. Or Paul Manafort, who thought that his WhatsApp messages were safe. And with a recent update, Google is the default search on your iPhone, and we know Google tracks everything. So always remember, whatever you do on any device that's connected to the internet will leak personal data. Apple, don't lie. Look what happened to Adam and Eve. Hey, thanks for watching, and for more tech news, DIY tips, podcasts, and videos, you can find me 24/7 at komando.com.